Good morning all. Dr. Madhav Rate here. Today we discuss few indications and how stem cell would be help in these conditions. So first we are talking about spinal cord injury. Spinal cord injury usually begins with a sudden traumatic blow to the spine that fracture or dislocates vertebrae. The damage begins at the moment of injury when displaced bone fragments, disc material, or ligaments bruise or tear into spinal cord tissue. Spinal cord injuries cause myelopathy or damage to nerve roots or myelinated fiber tracts that carry signals to and from the brain. Depending on its classification and severity, this type of traumatic injury could also damage the gray matter in the central part of the cord, causing segmental losses of interneurons and motor neurons. Stem cells are derived from human umbilical cord or bone marrow, improves the mobility with spinal cord injuries, providing the first physical evidence that the therapeutic use of these cells can help restore motor skills lost from acute spinal cord tissue damage. Patients are treated by injecting the stem cells directly into damaged area or in the cerebrospinal fluid, which flows within the spinal canal. This procedure is called intrathecal injection or lumbar puncture. After the treatments, what we should expected? Improvements were reported by patient with the both incomplete and complete injuries. Regaining sensation was reported by 60 patients. More than two-thirds reported increased muscle strength and improved endurance. Post-treatment, about 26 to 41% patients experienced better bladder and bowel control and improved erections. Over 50% patients reported decreased spasticity and limb pain. Now we are talking about cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is an umbrella term for a group of disorders affecting body movement, balance, and posture. Loosely translated, cerebral palsy means brain paralysis. Cerebral palsy is caused by abnormal development or damage in one or more parts of the brain that control muscle tone and motor activity. The resulting impairments first appear early in life, usually in infancy or early childhood. Infants with cerebral palsy are usually slow to reach developmental milestones such as rolling over, sitting, crawling, and walking. Cerebral palsy cannot be cured. Standard treatments include drugs, mechanical aids, physical therapy, behavioral therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. All these approaches are focused at helping the patient overcome developmental disabilities or learn new ways to accomplish difficult tasks. Treatment. If we do a stem cell therapy, then what should happen? Is a drug-free alternative focus on affecting physical changes in the brain that can improve child's quality of life. Almost 70% of the cerebral palsy patients treated with stem cells show improvement. Most cerebral palsy patients are treated by lumbar puncture. Means we have to inject stem cells by intrathecal route, injecting these cells in between L3 L4 vertebra. Injecting the stem cells into the cerebrospinal fluid, which transports them up the spinal canal and into the brain. Lumbar puncture is an outpatient procedure that requires patient to stay in hospital for 2 to 3 days. Follow-up statistics from 80 cerebral palsy patients completed in December 2010 show that close to 68% experience improvements after stem cell therapy. The type of improvements reported includes decreased spasticity, better coordination, improved motor function, improved posture, stability, better cognition resulting in communication improvement, gaining the ability to sit, stand, or even walk unassisted, Improved speech IQ was observed in 56% of patients. 43% reported a decrease or even absence of epileptic seizures following treatment. About 20% showed improved cognition. Some patients showed significant improvement in their MRI. This is the MRI pre-op and post-op. Now we are talking about stroke. Hemiplegia or stroke is very common neurological disorder characterized by loss of power in upper and lower limb on one side with or without facial paralysis. It's a motor paralysis and sensation are normal. It, it caused by damage to internal capsule or parietal lobe of brain due to bleeding or choking of middle cerebral arteries. Brain is deprived of adequate oxygen and causes paralysis on opposite side. Speaking problems, aphasia, inability to communicate, reasoning and memory disturbances, incontinence, changes in character and emotion. Strokes are the third leading cause of death. There are two kinds of strokes. Ischemic stroke occur when the blood supply to the brain is interrupted, usually by a blood clot, atherosclerotic plaques originating from the carotid arteries. Hemorrhagic stroke occurs when there is a bleeding into or around the brain. The risk of stroke increases with age, high blood pressure, brain injury, and carotid artery dissection. Is there any treatment for this? No standard treatment is aimed at restoring lost brain function. Besides these kinds of treatment, stem cell therapy can be used to minimize the chronic consequences of stroke. DM. If your loved one is living with diabetes, then you may already be aware its debilitating effects. Diabetes is often called the silent killer because it attacks the body slowly and stealthily. Newly diagnosed adult diabetes patients are usually not overly concerned about it since their symptoms are often no more serious than frequent urination and increased thirst. Many other patients have no symptoms at all. However, as time goes, the consequences of both types of diabetes becomes increasingly serious and can lead to a death. There are a lot of complications because of long-standing diabetes like diabetic retinopathy, diabetic nephropathy, then loss of sensation. If there would be a wound, then it will not heal. All these are complications. If it in a routine line of treatment, medications, oral hypoglycemic agent, insulin, that are standard treatment, but that should not be completely cure the diabetes. What if we do a stem cell transplantation? In a diabetic patient, we regularly injecting the stem cells directly into pancreatic artery via catheter. Patient who cannot safely undergo the catheterization procedure may elect to receive the stem cells intravenously. If patient is not fit, then we will do it by intravenous route. See, this is the image how we injecting stem cells directly into femoral artery. This is intralesional injections in diabetes. Femoral artery, pancreatic artery catheterization, intraarterial injection. Autism. Autism is disorder that is usually first diagnosed in early childhood. The main signs and symptoms of autism involve communication, social interaction, and repetitive behavior. So, in case of autism, also we can use autologous stem cells derived from bone marrow or adipose tissue, cord blood, stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells, or combined stem cell transplantation by using autologous as well as cord blood. We can inject stem cells by various route like local route, intrathecal, intraarterial route. In generally, at least 3 cycles required. Observation and conclusion in case of autism or other diseases: decrease in spasticity, average 40% reduction as per scale, increase in muscle power of average 1.5 on scale of 0 to 5 gradation, IQ increases of 50% as per Binet Kamath scale, improvement of hand to eye coordination, improvement in social skill and interaction, improvement in mood swing, sleep pattern and food habits, better and faster recovery in younger cases. Need of the day. Today, hundreds of millions of people live in pain and suffering and will eventually die as a result of degenerative conditions of aging. Today, we stand within reach of alleviating all this death and anguish, preventing it from ever occurring again. We should rise to the challenge. Regenerative medicine will result in extended healthy lifespans as we will be able to repair some of the damage caused by aging organ by organ. Future of stem cells. Stem cell highway. This is the stem cell highway. How we can use these stem cells for different indications and how these stem cells could be differentiated into various type of specialized cells like hepatocytes, cardiomyocytes, skeletal muscle cells, nerve cells, and this is actually alternative to surgery. In cardiac patients, cardiac tissue repair and regeneration using stem or parent cells from their organs, possibly in a few years. Heart to heart transplant, better prospect than transplanting adult bone marrow cells into heart patient. Trial to retransplant 30 patients with cardiac failure at JHU. Unbelievable but true. Tissue stem cells are depleted in muscular dystrophy. This is the normal muscle cells, and this is dystrophic muscle cells. Neoorganogenesis, human cloning, creating new organs, artificial liver, skin, artificial kidney, artificial muscles, artificial bones and cartilage. The continuous research is going on, so we can hope in coming years it could be a possible. Why can't we grow back a limb? That is, we don't have an answer right now, but we can expect this one in coming years. So that is all. So friends, this is just informative video how we can use stem cells for different indications. I just use this video, this PowerPoint presentation just for a reference. There are a lot of research going on. There are a lot of clinics who doing clinical applications of stem cells for various diseases. Among them, my center is also one, that is STEM Medica India. We also doing stem cell transplantation for various diseases, various indications. Thank you.